Yo, what's up, fishing friends? It's Michael here, Shot City Yacker. Welcome back to the channel. I haven't posted any real fishing stuff lately. It's been incredibly busy, and the weather hasn't been cooperating enough for me to get out in Lake Michigan. So yeah, I hope to get out real soon and have some more salmon fishing videos up, some more crappie, walleye stuff. But that's neither here nor there right now at this moment, because ICAST is happening in Florida right now, and obviously I can't be there. I got too many other things going on. But videos are now coming out showcasing some of the cool stuff that all these different manufacturers and brands are bringing to the market, including what many of us have been really waiting to hear from is Hobie. And boy, they did not disappoint. So what we're going to do here is react to the all-new Hobie Mirage Pro Angler 360 series, which is their big announcement for the Hobie Pro Angler series of kayaks, which are pretty much the top of the line premium kayaks on the fishing market. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we got here. Let's check this out. I'm gonna react to this. All right, it's not a very long video here. Introducing the 360. Got a nice little 360 logo on the front, at the front of it. I like that color, that nice kind of cool blue color. 360 power, and there's the big reveal, y'all. We can go 360 degrees with the new drive system. Okay, now they're just showing off. Now they're just showing off, Hobie. It's pretty impressive. Oh! The fins kick up. Okay. I got a lot of thoughts on my mind right now about a lot of this. Of course, it's a very good promotional video. Look at them showing off, spinning the blades 360 degrees. All right. All right, I think we got the idea here. There's a picture of it in action. Look, let's pause it right here and kind of go frame by frame a little bit. And there's some other stuff I want to talk about, because this is not just a reaction video for me, but this is also an initial reaction video from what many people are thinking after seeing this being announced. And not only that, we'll talk about it here in a minute, but the actual pricing on this new Hobie Pro Angler. All right, so the big thing here is the new drive, and if you look at it, we can actually go by frame. This is completely different from the current 180 Mirage drive system. I mean, you just look at it. We've got the fins here. It looks about the same. This whole middle section right here is completely different. This is all different. If you notice on the arms here, there's no more, in the current drive, how you can grab them to adjust the foot lengths on them. That looks different here. These are actually little tabs that you kind of lift up and drop into place. This looks very, very advanced from the look of it, right? Clean, sleek. You don't see a lot of stuff exposed. In fact, a lot of it looks like it's kind of encapsulated by this centerpiece right here. I can see right here in this black thing. Hopefully you're following my cursor here. It might be a little small, but I'll link to this video in the description below if you want to actually, enlarge it full screen and kind of look at it. But it looks like this black piece right here is where everything spins and turns around at. Also, if you notice on top right here, there's a little indicator, and that indicator is what tells you which way your drives are facing. If you're trying to go in a certain direction, you'll know at all times which way your fins are pointing, so you can make those adjustments there. If I scroll back a little bit, we'll see here. It's another shot of it right there. This is a very clean design. I'll give it to them. This is a very, very clean drive design. Doesn't have one of the things I don't like about the 180 drive, even to this day, is the cores that dangle off, the little antenna. I call them the little antennas. A lot of times I put my feet down and my feet are, smacking them around. It's an annoyance more than anything. That is gone. So that alone, I'm like, yeah, I do like this for its design. Very impressed what they did here. Very clean. I mean, look at that thing. Super, super clean. There's some other videos I do want to pull up to show you as well. Now, on Facebook, they are a buzz talking about all of this right here, right? I do want to pull up this video right here. This is courtesy of Mariner Sales, who I've done quite a few purchases from. I'm not affiliated with them, but I did find this video that they did a live stream on. And this one, just a short little thing right here, I want to show you what it looks like, because with this with this 2020 Hobie Pro Angler, it will not retrofit any other drives. In fact, it's a whole new hull or drive mold. So you have to buy this new. We can't just buy the drive after the aftermarket and then put that in our current kayaks. No. Which we'll talk about more of that here in a second. But let's take a look at this right here, right?
All right, guys, we've got Doug back here one more time, and Doug wants to prove to us that it really does come out. Come on, Doug.
I don't know what was happening.
I don't know either, but it's sure there.
So if you look right there, detaching it, he puts his thumb on this little part back there, pushes it down, and it slides right out. So it looks like there's no more of those, the two little, I call it the nipples, man. I don't know what else to call them. The two little nipple pieces on the current Mirage drive system that unlocks, and you're able to pull the drive out. Now this looks like a one-finger operation. Just push it down and pull up on the bars, on the leg bars.
I don't know either, but it's sure.
Boom,
there you go.
right out.
That's what we wanted to see right there.
Basically, there's your drive there.
Does that thing say?
I'm telling you, the fins and the mass look
Now
clear, but
they're going to talk about the kick up, which I think the kick up not only is the 360 thing, the first of its kind going into the kayak fishing market, but another aspect that some other manufacturers like Jackson has currently on their flex drive is the fact that drives will pop back up when you run into something. Now, for me, I haven't been able to do any real kind of river fishing much here in Illinois because in many rivers that are shallow, there's a lot of debris, submerged trees and all kinds of other junk that, I'm just terrified that I put my kayak in there, my PA in there, and if I whack one, it's going to tear everything up. This new flip up or kick up drive that they're talking about here, as part of this 360 drive, that is going to help alleviate a lot of my concern and potentially greatly lessen the chances of me damaging this drive in the river, which means now I can actually go on the river, right, and have a lot more confidence that, sure, if I'm paddling along and all of a sudden we go from 5 foot to a foot or less, and there's a submerged tree, coming in the water, that if it whacks it, the fins will kick up and I'm good to go. I won't have to go through and replace any of the mast and all the other stuff. But let's take a look here and kind of show you what happens.
from here north is all new.
Does that thing say kick up on it somewhere?
So that's a better look at the drive. I mean, look at that thing. It's clean. It's very clean. And what he just said in this video is that everything from here up, right? He's touching the fin portion right here, but everything up is all new, redesigned. And so we get a really good look at it right now. But he's gonna go ahead and demonstrate that kick up fin.
Doug?
And it does. And so if you run into something now,
Look at that. Whacked it and they flip right back. Oh, that is great.
Whoa!
For all the guys that do shallow water fishing, that is great. So far, so good, right? You following along, it looks great. New modern design, sleek, redesign, 360, you can go different directions. You got the kick up fins, all going good so far, right?
Oh! How does it lock back into place again?
Good question.
All you have to do is pedal the drive and the force on the fins, click them back in like that.
So as he said, if you can't hear it, all you got to do is just keep on pedaling, and the force from the fins in the water will kick it back forward and lock back into place. That's interesting. I wonder how that really works, in reality. Now, here's another picture I pulled up that shows the redesign of the PA Mirage hull portion, right? This model, you cannot retrofit an old drive into it. You can't take the new drives, buy them aftermarket, and put those into any of your prior models of PAs. This is all new. You have to buy it with the drive, whole new kayak. That's the only way you're gonna be able to get this. So we look into this new mold area right here. It's a big difference. It's a very big difference. It's a plastic connected to the actual mold. And then you see in here, there's like this gray ring in here that when you slide the drive in, it connects to the black ring that's on the drive, and then there's now a second handle above the left handle that spins 360 degrees, and then that's when you turn that, it's going to turn this, which then turns your drive. And then right off the view here is the release for the drive. So gone are the little tabs here on each side that you would flick down to release the drive and push back in to click them in to lock in your drive. It looks like it's a one finger operation now, where you just simply use your thumb or forefinger, push it down, you lift the drive right up. I like that that redesign. Overall, it's just a very clean, very sleek, and very impressed here. So let me load this screen up now, and let's talk about this, the initial reaction from a lot of people. And again, I'm in the Hobie Pro Angler group, and so you have a lot of feedback coming from a lot of the owners currently of PAs. But let me go ahead and give you my take on this. So overall, very impressed on what I'm seeing here. This redesign is, I've said it before, very clean, very sleek, very modern looking. And the fact, and it is genius. It's the first 360-degree drive of any kind in a kayak, to my knowledge. And not only that, but if you factor in that it has the kick-up fins, so if it runs into anything, it'll pop back, so it prevents your drive from or the mast getting bent, broken. Many of us have, experienced that. That's a big deal. It's very, very impressive overall. But let's talk about what some of the cons are, or the downside of this is the fact that you are going to have to buy a whole new kayak, full price, just to get this. You cannot buy the fin aftermarket, at least not to retrofit into any of your current kayaks. Like I have a 2018 model, 2017 model, anything like that. You can't buy this and just slide it into your current model. It's completely different molding for the Mirage drive in those kayaks, so it won't work. If this technology is what you really want, you're gonna have to buy a brand new kayak. Now, the thing about buying this brand new kayak from Hobie, here's the official price list, ladies and gentlemen. 2020 Hobie 360 Drive PAs coming this fall. The PA 12 will cost you $4,600. The PA 14 360, basically $4,800. And I called it. I called this earlier this year. I said, the prices of these Hobies are going up. Every year they're going up. The price difference from, I think, last year to this year, Hobie Pro Anglers, was $300 increase. And there really wasn't much of a change in the kayaks themselves. So I was really surprised. And now we're seeing it go up a full $1,000. The question becomes, is it worth $4,800? Now, that's a really subjective question, because depending on who you are, depending on your fishing needs, you're going to get a very wide spectrum of answers here. Now, make no mistake about it, this is completely targeting the higher end of the fishing market spectrum. And quite honestly, they're probably not making it for everyone. These are for people that have that disposable income to drop $5,000 to purchase this kayak, because when you factor in tax and shipping costs, because remember, dealers are passing on that shipping cost that it costs them to bring these boats to their stores, you are going to pay more than $5,000. Do not forget that this is going to be a minimum $5,000 boat when you factor in tax and shipping costs. So if you have extra $5,000 laying around, then hey, have at it. But I think that there's a bit of a cause for concern in that every year we are seeing kayak prices going up more and more. Now, don't get me wrong, there are quite a few that have come to the market that are that have drives specifically. Not talking about paddle kayaks, but pedal-driven kayaks. There are quite a few that have come to the market that are in the $1,500 price range, which are a lot more affordable and justifiable of a cost. But we are seeing, some of the top of the line kayaks continually go up. And at some point you have to ask the question, is the cost worth the product? Let's not forget that it is plastic. At a certain price point, you could in fact outrig a John boat or some other kind of a vessel, or find a used one for near the cost. Now, of course, there are trade-offs to this because then you're talking about a boat with an engine, maintenance, gas, transportation, titles, fees. When does paying for a kayak become way too much? You know, it seems like Hobie is going to continue to raise those costs so long as there's the demand for it. And it's what any business would do. So I don't knock them for it. It really comes down to, you know, the individual and what they decide they want. But it is a bit alarming. You know, I want one, you know, and for $5,000, that's a tough sell. You know, obviously when this comes out in the fall, this would be something I would wait to purchase in the early spring of next year. One, for the simple fact that I would want to wait to see that the drive, there's no issues once it hits the market. Because if you remember when the first 180 drive came out, the little antenna parts, right, that you pull to reverse or put the drive in forward would all snap. That was like a very big issue when that came to market. That was a big, Hobie took a big L for that. But initially it was a lot of bad, you know, PR for them for that. So I think they would probably learn from that and make sure that this 360 drive is rock solid. And I mean, and in fact, looking at it, everything's all internal. So, I'm willing to bet that this should be fine, but to play it safe, I'm going to wait for some early units to go onto the market and let people, you know, break them and then, you know, figure out that everything is solid. And once it is, you know, early spring is when I would look to purchase it. Now, on the flip side of things, something to think about is the fact that this could actually up the value for your used Hobie Pro Angler kayaks. You can get a better resale value from people. Because the models are going up, you could probably sell your current models for a really good price, maybe close to what you paid. I think selling a you know, a model from the last couple of years, and sure, you might leave some accessories on it just to help that's, you know, sell value there. You might be able to get $2,700, $2,800, maybe $3,000, depends. Maybe throwing in electronics with it. I don't know. But I think that this should help the resale market. We should see a good, in fact, resale market overall. One other thing I should mention too, let me not forget this is really big, is that the 2020 Hobie 360 drives, all it is the drive that's new. Nothing about the kayak has changed other than the mold for the drive in the center and the additional handle that allows you to do the 360 turns with the drive. The rest of the kayak has not been changed. So it's the same boat, just with a new drive. And because of this new drive, they are adding on $1,000 for it. And so that is where all of this new money is going to, is the drive. Now, I do want to say that when I was looking at this, I'm thinking about its practicality and its use. And I sat there and I thought to myself, in what way would I use a 360 drive? Because right now I have the 180 drive and I use it every now and again. I you know, now that I have it, and it's probably because of how I fish. I'm doing a lot of trolling on Lake Michigan, not really doing a lot of reverse. However, when I am inland, like for crappie fishing, I actually do use it. If the wind is blowing me a certain way, I might need to reverse. Maybe I'm getting blown to the bank too close, so I have to flip it in reverse and back off. And I've been sitting here thinking like, well, I don't use the 180 that much, so when would I really use the 360 here? And then I thought about it, and I thought, you know what? For me, at least, I could see myself using the 360 again in an inland fishing situation. Let's say I'm fishing for crappie, and there's one lake in particular that's like my honey hole for crappie, that it's clear water, and you can see the submerged cabbage like weeds, right? And I like to set up right on the outside of them and drift down on it. And so if I have a situation where I'm getting, you know, if I want to drift down it, but I'm getting crosswind or the wind's coming from a different direction, I can see myself turning the drive in whatever direction the wind is blowing in and slowly pedaling to kind of either slow my drift or to counter the direction the wind is trying to blow me, so I can stay along that edge as much as possible. So I can see that being useful. You know, the promo video that we saw here from Hobie, they really just kind of showed it turning around in tight spaces. I don't think that alone is a selling point for the drive. I think that, you know, seeing it in a real world use situation with would be a better sell to people. And I think the example I given would be something that if I saw would be like, oh yeah, you're right. That is a way I can actually use this, new tech in a meaningful way. So that is something that I thought about, and a reason why I would figure out a way to get that money to buy one for next season, and then sell one of my older ones that I have to help offset the cost. I mean, if I can at least get half of what this will cost, so about $2,500, it's an easier sell for me to come up with 25 out of pocket than the full 5. And I think that that's going to be the name of the game, is if you have a current PA, you sell it, take that money and help offset that cost. And I think in theory, it should work, because I think the resale value will be there for people that just simply can't justify spending that much money, but still want to get themselves in a great PA. And if you've taken care of yours really well, the driver's on point, you can get good money for it, and then use that to flip, man. Those are just some of my thoughts about the newly announced Hobie Pro Angler 360. What do you think about this? Is it too much? Is the cost of PAs getting to a place where it's becoming ridiculous? Is this justified? What do you think about the new drive? Do you think that this is something that you would actually use in your everyday fishing? And by that, I mean the 360, drive, as I described. I would love to hear all of your feedback. Let's talk about it in the comments below. And if you're new here, consider hitting that subscribe button and turning on notifications. I do appreciate your time, guys. Looking forward to seeing you in a fishing video real soon, y'all. Peace.